What's going on, guys? We're back at it again. We're talking about the depth of confusion. So, the reason why we're talking about the depth of confusion is because I was talking to my wife earlier today, and she said something, and I was like, that's why they do what they do, because they want your ass confused. Because confusion equals out to, okay, they don't know who the fuck they are. So, it's way easier to be like, oh, you're black. You could be white, you could be fucking yellow, you could be purple. But if you don't know you're white, yellow, or purple, you could be whatever the fuck they say. So then it's easy for you to be controlled. Very easy. And so if you're playing this game of their confusion game, right? So the confusion game is really, they had this virus that went around a few years ago. Yet, if you were looking at the data, there's another form that just disappeared, didn't have any cases. Let me explain. So during a certain year that this virus, this epidemic happened, there was there was basically nothing like a common cold did not exist anymore. And so all of a sudden, through all this confusion, nobody looked to see, okay, but where's the regular flu? Where does that fall into this whole thing? And if they were seeing that the cases were zero, then they'll be like, yo, this is bullshit. And yet they made it seem like it was something crazy. And through all that confusion, they created the antidote. And the antidote was for you to get this thing in your body that was untested, right? It is brand new. And then they made you get a couple of iteration of it so that you could be protected, right? And so the reason why they did that is the confusion led to the masses being like, well, if my job doesn't let me work because of this reason, well, I need to feed my family. So I'm just gonna have to get it. Regardless, if you weren't confused and you knew of the situation, you still did it. I didn't do it. Hell the fuck no. But many people got caught in this confusion. And that's why they ended up doing it. And so, real quick, my name is Manuel Velasco. In case you guys didn't know, I'm on a mission to help 7,200 people learn everything I know from mindset, business, and beyond so that they can each help another 7,200 people themselves. And the ripple effect of that is 51 million lives impacted. I'm literally here just to give you the information that I got and then dip out, right? All right, back to the confusion. So they have you so confused, right? So confused to the point that you look at your family and you're estranged from them. You look at them and you're like, who the fuck? Like, fuck you. I want to be by myself. I ain't gonna live with my parents. I'm gonna live by myself. But best believe, 100 years ago or so, that didn't exist. Let's give you another example. Okay, they said breakfast is the most important meal of the day. How could that never existed until they said that? And so nobody fact checked it because it's definitely back in the day. It wasn't as easy as you going on Google and be like, okay, like what's the article about? No, that's bullshit. So they had to believe whatever was said at face value. And so they said breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Then doctors started saying, hey, you having breakfast? It's the most important meal of the day. And everybody was saying, well, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. If you skip that, then you're starting out your day pretty rough. And now all of a sudden, there's a belief imprinted if you do not have breakfast. It means that you're behind. Do you want to be behind? No. So you have breakfast. But now that equated to more sales across the board of basically all goods, at least food goods, if you will, because people spice it up. Some people have toast, some people have meats, some people have what have you, right? But now they're forced to do it one more meal versus there was only really dinner, right? Lunch, yeah, it kind of existed, but for the most part, it was dinner. You just worked until dinner, basically, right? On some, again, hunter gatherer type shit. That if you didn't kill your food, you wouldn't eat. But this time it's like you don't have to necessarily kill your food. You just gotta make it to dinner time and eat. But now it's like you need 3 meals. And then they're like, if you talk to certain fitness professionals, they're like, hey, you gotta break it down into 5 meals throughout the day, 8 meals throughout the day. My belief is definitely different. So I've I've been fasting for, man, like 3 years plus, but like it was something I actually already did because at the time when I was a kid, I was too poor to do the breakfast thing, so I would just starve until lunch, and then maybe I'll starve until like the next time there was lunch, or sometimes there would be dinner. So for me, fasting was kind of sort of part of the daily routine, if you will, for a long time. But intentional fasting, it has been 3 years. And through those 3 years, it went from eating 3 meals to eating 2 meals to now I'm currently eating 1 meal, plus or minus. Sometimes I might add a meal, sometimes I don't. And that's usually like once a week or twice a week, right? It's not every day. So I feel a bunch better. The digestive process is so long, it's so taxing on the body. And so now I don't have to deal with that, right? I deal with it once. And so I avoid a lot of problems. But the confusion is, it's like, oh, is fasting good? Like, hold on, wait a minute. Like, I need to eat my breakfast, my lunch, and dinner. They've been telling me this since I was 3 years old. The fuck you go tell me about? Actually, um, I'm going through this book real quick, Atomic Habits. And so what I recently, was reading was about identity. Now I know about self-image and how important identity is to who you believe you are. So now people are stuck because of the repetition of this identity for years. They're stuck in confusion. Remember, remember meditation. So I'll read it to you one more time. If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action, I shall gladly change. Excuse me. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. The harm is to persist in one's own self deception and ignorance. So, a lot of people are persisting in their own self deception and ignorance. Why are you doing that? Well, it's because you've voted for breakfast for a long ass time because you ate that shit. Hey, again, none of this has passed me. Eaten breakfast for years too. But you've eaten breakfast, right? All this time. So now you validated that. So now if somebody comes across and it's like, hey, you shouldn't eat breakfast. It's like, fuck you talking about? If you ask anybody, you could go out on the street, walk around, and probably almost 10 out of 10 times they'll say, yeah, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That's the confusion. And the confusion starts by having multiple people believe it. So that if multiple people are saying it, then they did a study, right? Let me show you. They did a study. They had 7 agents and 3 people who were not agents, and they put them in a room. And so there was this picture. Now, I'm going to butcher this picture, but I'll give you the example. Let's say it looked like a pig, and all the agents went 1 through 7, went first, and they're like, oh, it's a butterfly. It's a butterfly. It's a butterfly. It's a butterfly. And on number 8, which was the civilian, right? He goes, oh, what do you see? Oh, I see a butterfly. When this motherfucker clearly know that's a pig, and he's going against his gut instinct, but he don't want to be like the weird one, right? All right, next one, number 9. What do you see? Oh, I see a butterfly. Again, he in his gut is like, ugh, this shit weird, but fuck it, I don't want to be the lonely man out. Already 8 people have said that's a butterfly, so I'm gonna just join them. Can you guess what number 10 says? Is a butterfly. So it takes basically 70%, which is probably not true. It probably takes a lot less than that because I'm sure they experimented with lower ranges than that. But let's go with the number. So if you get 70% of people to say yes, it's true, you're fucked because 70% of people are saying it's true. Now the other 30 are going to be like, hey, yeah, it's true. if you look at who got the shot, um, it was, at least at the time I was in New York, it was almost like 97% or something. It was in the high 90s. Why is that? It's because they force the people to do it. A, you're going to lose your job if you don't do this. How many people could afford to lose their job? Not many. It says there's a statistic that, I don't remember the number, but let's say over 50%. It's really up there. I should look it up. But over 50% of people don't have $1,000 saved. Saved. $1,000. So what does that mean? That means all those people, let's say it's just 50%. I know it's higher than that. But let's say just 50% don't have $1,000 saved. So now you instantly got the 50 to say, okay, yes, I'll do it. Yes, daddy. And then all it takes is another 20%. That's not really difficult if you already have 50. And so already, you know how people are like, oh, I'm a Republican. Fuck you, you Democrat. Oh, I'm a Democrat. Fuck you, you Republican. That's the same thing. Did you get the shot? No? Ew, get the fuck away from me, nasty. Did you get the shot? Ooh, get the fuck away from me, shawty. This is the problem. The confusion begins. And they even have us, a lot of people, I should say, confused about, are you a man or a woman? What do you feel like? Do you feel like you're in the wrong body? You probably do, huh? Well, we could solve that issue for you. We just do a little snip, snip, slice, slice, and then boom, you on the other side. So now people are confused about who they're born to be. You're fucked. If people are born confused, there ain't no way for them to make it really out. It's going to be a tough time, uphill battle for sure. And so the confusion is so powerful because it equals controlling the population so much easier. Because if there's people who are confused, then they need guidance. You're confused, sir. Let me help you. Oh, which one is a 20? There's videos, right? Shorts where it's like the blind guy's like, hey man, can you tell me which one's a 20 and which one's $100 bill? And then the person's like, oh yeah. This is the $100 bill, right? Red wrist. And this is the $20 bill. Nothing on the wrist. So then he chooses oh, this is the 20. Let me help you. This is the 20. And so he gives him $100. And so if that's the case, you're easily able to help somebody, manipulate somebody who's confused because they don't know. If the blind man can't see, he don't know which one's 100 or 20. He just knows he has both on him right now. And so he's leaving it up to you to help him. How are you going to lead him? Because he's confused on the money subject. You know, he can't see. You can't feel your way that this is 100, this is a 20. Maybe some crazy experts can, right? The money launderers. But us regular people, we're not telling that. So then based on that confusion, it equals an opportunity to get exactly what you want, which is 5 times the money. The haircut costs $20, but I can make 100 right now. And this person want to know about it. Fuck them. I'm going to make the 100. That's what confusion does. It makes it so easy to manipulate somebody into giving you more than they should. And that's what they got the masses doing. Because now we have so much debt, right? That now we cannot stop. If we stop, it's game over. Everybody suffers in our family, right? Because we have too much debt. We have to keep going to pay our car bill. We have to keep going to pay the mortgage. We have to keep going, or else I have to put it on credit card to feed my family, and I don't have enough. So it puts us in this situation where it's like there's no confusion. My family need to eat. They need a roof over their heads, and I need a car to drive so that I could do all of that. So then you're stuck. So how is it that you're supposed to look up and be like, all right, let me grab this book. Let me read it. You don't have the time to read it because you're always in survival mode because you're confused. You don't understand where you are and how you are to be. And there's a lot of people that are confused. It's not just the masses. There's celebrities that don't know who they are. There's gurus out there who don't know who they are. They just know how to do well in one aspect, which is make money. Well, there's multiple aspects of life. So even if you're not confused in one, you may be confused in the four other, or you may be confused in all five. Because again, the game is that we don't want a society of I want a society of workers, not builders. Builders think they're less confused. They see the problem and they are like, okay, I gotta solve this. Figure out a way and solve this. Actually, I'm in the process of confusion. So to tell you a little bit about my confusion, I switched over some devices in my PC, and now the PC doesn't want to boot up its OS operating system. For those of you who don't know, and because the OS is not being recognized, it's there. It's not being recognized. I'm looking to format this thing. Well, of course, my silly self did not back up the information that was on this hard drive, and so now I put myself in a predicament. No confusion here. I put myself in a predicament because now I have to solve this issue, solve this confusion, in order to be able to save all that information, about 400 gigabytes worth of data. And so I'm in a tough spot because now everything that I do, it seems to not be working. And now, hopefully, after this, I'm going to go ahead and see if I could pull the data off of there and save it into this hard drive specifically. So at least I have the information available, right? But at the same time, it could work, it could not work. Now, somebody who's confused would just be focusing on this works. And when it doesn't work, it's like, nah, it's got to work. And they just keep trying to make it work, but they're making the situation worse and worse and worse for themselves. They're digging a bigger hole instead of actually looking up. Let me see. Oh no, I'm fucking in Africa. I'm supposed to be in the US. What the fuck? Oh shit. Okay. Well, obviously, I gotta find my way from here, get on the plane, and go back. But most of you are just moving forward with your head down. There you go. You know, as you walk through life. And that only leads to you not being able to see what's in front of you now. And so if you don't see what's in front of you, by the time you look up, you're lost. You're confused. Confusion is a hell of a utility because again, you could people use these tactics all the time. They use such a high vocabulary or such big words to say something so nicely or eloquent. And now, if you don't understand these words, there's confusion, right? And now you don't understand. It's just like when the Federal Reserve they announce whatever is going on, and they could easily tell you, "Hey, by the way, because of the situations that is going on, we're going to raise the rates so we could slow down, the economy." But they just say some fucking super technical terms that you're just like, "Nigga, what the fuck did you just say? Speak to me in English." Okay, what about a doctor who's like, "Oh yeah, your gluteus metabolus is actually the problem of this whole situation because that's messing up is also affecting your concuncus." I was like, "Huh? What the fuck are you talking about?" Some bullshit because you're not talking English. Break it down. Clearly, you're not smart enough to be able to break it down in pure English, right? To a simple term to explain it to a fifth grader. You're not there yet. It seems like you haven't mastered that ability, if you will. When people talk in this type of tone with such eloquence, if you will, One, two, three. Eloquence. Elegantly done. And so when you have this situation go down, and it's like people are just talking over your head, they're not speaking to you, they're speaking as if you don't know. Now, what's fun is that if you're in a situation where you understand exactly what they're saying and they think they're talking over you, but they're not, those faces are funny, right? But a lot of the times, people need to just break it down in pure English. That's how you truly tell who is the true master and who's just a regular, degular person who has hubris, which is pride. And so, if they're prideful, they're so prideful in their PhD that they're going to make sure they talk at the highest level. That means they miss all the people. When it comes to running for president, the person with the most clarity, with the most people who are able to understand their message, are usually the people that win. When people are talking and you're just like, I don't even know what the fuck he said. It sounded like a whole lot of nonsense. Then it's like, well, sound like a whole lot of nonsense. Fuck that guy. Let me go this way. It's the same thing. Confusion is designed to control you. So let me leave you with this. If you see that confusion is happening to a lot of people, understand there's a ploy behind it. They're looking to get all these people confused so that they could reach the confusion and spread it out to everybody else. And so when you see the confusion, understand why people are confused and don't be confused. It's as simple as that. Now, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, my number, if you guys made it to the end, is 737-864-0824. 737-864-0824. Text me only, no calls, just text me. And, whatever you need help with. Just, I guess, the word of the day, if you text me confusion, I'll know that you came from this video. But that's pretty much it. And I'll see you guys on the next video tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time ish.